Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Joshua, the 5th chapter, as we saw previously how the Lord magnified Joshua, right, in the sight of Israel, and also having Israel cross over dry land, right, being the Jordan, all right, which body of water was stopped. And the token, right, that they would leave, i.e. the stones, the 12 stones, to be a memorial of that event. So this is Joshua 5:1. And it came to pass when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel until they were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was there spirit in them any more. Now, what that means is, as it says, because of the children of Israel, what that means is when word got to them, they became so afraid, they were like paralyzed with fear. Not that they just dropped dead. And you can imagine hearing something like that. You're just like, oh my gosh. And these are the people after us. At that time, the Lord Yahweh said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way, meaning on the path, after they came out of Egypt. Because remember, the Lord had us go dwell in the wilderness for about 40 years. And that killed off the older generation. Now all the people that came out were circumcised. But all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way, as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. So those that came out of Egypt were circumcised, but the children they had while we were in the wilderness were not. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, i.e. they died, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord Yahweh, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not shew them the land. And we'll cover that as we go through, when we get to that part, of when the Lord basically said this, which the Lord Yahweh sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. And when it says a land that floweth with milk and honey, it means a fruitful land. So the older generation of men of war, they died off because of their disobedience. Hence the Lord said they wouldn't see that land in that generation. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. So their parents hadn't circumcised them in the wilderness. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their place in the camp till they were whole, meaning till they were healed. And circumcising, because cutting off the foreskin it's a process. It's like it's a whole operation. So obviously we knew how to do it back then, using different herbs as well, but you would still need time to heal. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even, in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the self same day. So at this point, being in the land, they could actually eat of the fruit of the land, the crops, being the corn here that they had during the feast of unleavened bread. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. So the Lord kept feeding them with manna But until this point, when they could now eat off the land, the Lord didn't provide them manna anymore. Neither had the children of Israel manna anymore, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. So Joshua looks up and he sees ahead of him, there's a man, which this was an angel, with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us or for our adversaries? So are you on our side, or it's like you're on the side of our adversaries? And he said, Nay, but as captain of the host of the Lord Yahweh am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my Lord unto his servant? And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so. Now this angel here, the captain of the Lord's host, right? When you that Joshua encountered here, it doesn't explicitly say here, right, that this was who this angel was. But from there are some like signs in this interaction that hint towards this possibly being Yahushai. One obvious one being that Joshua's worship, right, of this angel, in which the angel did not protest or refuse it, right, and in fact he just basically accepted it, and then instructed Joshua on the loosing of the shoe off his foot. Also, when you go into the word host, it goes into basically like the head or the chief or the top, which is in ranking is the highest, right, of the host of the Lord. Now, when you deal with like in the book of Revelation, for example, when the apostle John saw the angel and he basically went to worship before him or like bow, the angel stopped him, right, and said, "What? See thou do it not, for I am thy brethren, right, thy fellow servant." See, so there's a clear distinction here between this angel and the rest in this very interaction here, which signals that, this could have been Yahushai, because we know that at this time he was with Israel, right? As in, when you read that angel that led them as a cloud by day and a pillar by night, that was Yahushai, right? And so, definitely not a far-fetched thing for this to have been him. So that brings us to the end. Just wanted to mention that, but that brings us to the end of Joshua, the 5th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rechak Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.